Welcome to AI Chain Reaction, the podcast where we unpack the incredible world of artificial intelligence and automation. Each week, we're diving deep into the tech that's reshaping our lives, our businesses, and our future. From groundbreaking innovations and the latest industry news to practical strategies on how you can leverage AI automation for growth. We're covering it all. We'll be joined by leading experts, innovators, and thought leaders who are at the forefront of this digital revolution. Are you ready to explore how one small change can set off a massive chain reaction of progress? Then you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome back to AI Chain Reaction. Today we're thrilled to welcome Todd Peters, the founder and CEO of Kitting and Assembly Solutions. Todd's a 30-year veteran of the warehousing and fulfillment game and has an amazing story from starting work in a Texas warehouse at 16 years old to eventually opening his own logistics company out of his garage and growing it to a successful 3PL operation. Todd, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So I have to share to our listeners in preparing for this chat, I came across an article that said when Todd launched Kitting and Assembly Solutions back in 2014, he literally worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3 years straight, with only about 10 days off total in these 3 years. Todd, that level of dedication is incredible. Working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3 years straight to get KAS off the ground. That's both inspiring and a little frightening. How on earth did you sustain that pace, and what was the single biggest motivation that drove you all those years?
Well, I didn't have any choice but to do that pace.
Definitely.
I had to do the work that we finally were getting in, because starting out in the garage with no leads or anything, was a challenge. Finally, found some leads and where to go and started picking up business. And, in order to grow, I need to do all the work myself to be able to have the money to be able to then grow and move into a warehouse and hire people. So that was really the motivation and the reasoning why I had to put in so many hours was just to get this business going and off the ground to where it is today.
Definitely. Yeah, that's an incredible story. So Todd, your company is called Kitting and Assembly Solutions. So for people who are listening, what exactly is kitting? Could you break that down for us and maybe give us an example?
Yeah, so kitting, I always try to tell people, because they always ask what kitting is. And I go, well, think about it. Everybody has one. Everybody should at least have one in their home. And they'll go, well, what is that? I go, like first aid kit. Somebody has to put the bandages in and the Band-Aids and the gauze and all that into the kits, from early 50s and 60s, 1960s and stuff, we had all the, rocket kits and science kits. So kitting's been around for a long time. Now it's more like what we do is more of the kitting is for like promotional companies or companies themselves where they want to give out some stuff to their employees or to their customers, like a tumbler and a hat and a journal and a mug with all their branding on it. And so we put those all into nice little gift kits, make them look pretty with tissue paper, crinkle paper, and send them out to either the customers or their clients. And so that's what kitting is for us for the most part. We do a lot of movie kits for a customer where we put a bunch of candy and stuff into these kits and popcorn in a popcorn bag. So they feel like they're at the movies and they order these kits and they sit at home and watch it on TV, makes them feel like they're at the movies. So that's another type of kit that we do. So that's really what kitting is just putting swag or material into boxes and shipping them out to the end users.
No, that's super cool. So it's very customizable. You can like add personalized notes or use a branded box, anything really.
Absolutely. We use lots of branded boxes. We put cards in them. All that. You can do whatever you want to the kit.
I mean, that's super cool. So KAS isn't just doing kitting, right? You're a full 3PL. So you handle other aspects like storage, shipping, Amazon prep, etc.
Yeah, we do lots of Amazon prep. That's probably one of our biggest customers, so to say, even though there's lots of customers, but that's probably one of the biggest parts of our business is we do a lot of Amazon prep, but we do lots of kitting. We do assembly work where we assemble some hockey masks, where we get the cage and we have to put the lens in and stickers on them and the chin holder and all that kind of good stuff. We assemble some parts for air conditioning vents or air conditioning stuff for some for RVs and things like that. So we pre-assemble some things. So we do lots of that. And then, of course, fulfillment, storage, B2C, B2B, everything, full service 3PL warehouse, like you said.
Wow. So it sounds like y'all are doing everything right now. What do most people outside of your specialty misunderstand or underestimate about the work being done in this space?
Well, I think most people misunderstand really how much labor intensive it is and how long it takes. Everybody's always like, "Oh, well, it's only throwing a couple of pieces into a box and yada yada." But it's not that. There's so many other steps and avenues that we have to take
Definitely.
that people just don't understand.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. So if we were having this conversation 5 years from now, what do you think would look completely different in your industry and what might stay exactly the same?
Well, a lot of them stay the same. I've told people before, distribution, logistics, distribution, fulfillment has been around since the dawn of time. Just think about all the trade routes, back in the Greeks and Romans, where they're bringing all their trade goods across the ocean to other places. That was distribution, and that was fulfillment. They were fulfilling spices to the customers and this and that. So it's been around since the dawn of time. And so distribution, the things that are going to change, AI is huge now. So I'm figuring that's going to, change a lot of the things. Just the technology is what's going to really change the way it's going. You still need trucks to move the product. You still need people to drive the trucks until we can get, or you can just Star Trek it over there, and most of the distribution, is too big that you can't use drones like Amazon was trying to do and stuff like that. So you're still going to need all that stuff. So the distribution logistics, I don't see so much changing, but the technology part of it will really change over the next 5 years.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So you're taking care of the whole middle part of the supply chain from the factory output to the doorstep of the customer or Amazon fulfillment center, et cetera. One thing that stands out, you work with Amazon sellers, you work with corporate clients, and maybe retailers too. That's a diverse mix. Is there a common challenge these clients face that leads them to you? I'm guessing it's often that they've outgrown doing it themselves.
Yeah, they've outgrown doing it themselves. I mean, that's what I always tell people, start yourself when you're small. If you're already big, you don't want to do it yourself. You're going to send it to us, but you send it to us because you can spend more of your time, which is more valuable, finding the products, sourcing the products, doing all the back end stuff that you need to do, and let us do the prep work. And so that's what I tell lots of people, and that's why a lot of people, when they start coming to me, is like that's what they always say. Yeah, we're outgrowing it. I'm tired of doing it in my garage. My time's more valuable somewhere else, and that's how we get a lot of the newer customers and the smaller ones, so that they can start to grow.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And maintaining quality while scaling is tough. How do you maintain high accuracy and service levels as volume grows? Is it the tech, the training, the processes, or all of the above?
It's all the above. I mean, the key is having a good staff, and I'm lucky enough to have a great staff where all my staff has been here for 4+ years. So which is hard to do in this day and age to keep people there at a place for that long. But all my employees have been here 4+ years, so that helps a lot because they know what they're doing. I don't have to train. I don't have to sit there and watch and micromanage. I can just say, here it is, get her done,
Yeah.
and it gets done. And we have processes in place to check for mistakes or to not make the mistake. So we have process in place for all that.
Yeah. I can agree more with that. So I guess going off of that, what are some of the biggest bottlenecks you've had to tackle?
So right now with the Amazon, some of the biggest things we're having problems with is Amazon's capacity limits.
Mhm.
More people are putting in orders, but then they can't send it all in because of the capacity issues. And then we're stuck sitting here holding half their order because they can only send in half. And then we already spent all the time to do all that work and it's just sitting here when we could have done somebody else's work that could have gotten in. So that's one of the biggest challenges I have right now with Amazon is capacity issues for my clients.
Yeah.
It's not me, it's them, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. Well, now being an AI focused podcast, how much does CAS rely on AI currently, or are there plans to incorporate more intelligence as you grow?
We don't have any AI right now. Yeah, I mean, I want to be on the forefront of the new technology that's coming out. So yes, we have plans on trying to move to AI if it's valuable to us and what part of it is valuable to us. Because I know there's parts that I don't need but there's parts that I probably do need. And there's probably parts that I don't need that I will need at some time, but I don't need right this second.
Yeah. So on the AI front, one area we've talked about on previous episodes is inventory optimization, predicting demand, avoiding overstock or stockouts. Do you see that as a big opportunity, perhaps not just for you, but for clients as well, since you hold inventory for them?
That would probably be more for my clients, that part of it, because I don't buy any of the products. So overstock, that's their, if they bought overage, that's on them, so to say. I ain't saying that's my customer's fault, but I just
Mhm.
mean we don't order stuff. So overstock, things like that aren't the AI is not going to apply to me, but to my customers, yes.
Yeah. Well, let's get into talking about use cases and success stories. Could you share a quick example of a recent success story at CAS?
Just any, I know that we just had an order we had to do a kitting order that we just did, that everything was late and it was a rush and we had to next day air things. We had to get it done in like 4 hours, and we did. Customer was extremely happy. Their customer was extremely happy. So that was a success story, just the success is always getting the stuff out the door and on time and keeping our customers happy. So
Absolutely.
that's always the success. And so, I hope we have those every single day.
Yeah. No,
The success
absolutely.
story for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. So, what makes CAS different from others trying to solve the same problem?
So here's what people always, it's that always question, what makes you different from all the other places,
Yeah.
right? And that's basically what you're asking me.
Yeah.
The answer to that is I don't know.
Mhm.
And that's because I don't know all these other companies. I don't know
Yes.
what they do good and what they do bad.
Mhm.
I can tell you what I believe we do good,
Yeah.
and I can tell you that I know some of this doesn't apply to other places. I have two number one goals,
Mhm.
and that's how can you have two ones? But I do. One is getting the product, making our customers happy, getting the product out on time and done right. And my others is customer service. I'm big on customer service, and I do think that that's what one place that would differentiate between a lot of other places. But I also know a lot of other places do have good customer service also.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's hard to answer that question because I know some other places that do great work like we do and great customer service. And I know there's places that don't do any of those well. So it's the old thing. Let me just show you what we can do well. I can tell you all day long and I can tell you what we do better than other places, but I don't really know that that's true or not. It's that I'll show you that what I tell you is true about us.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
customer service is very important on my list.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was very well said. So, if you were advising a company that's hesitant to outsource or automate because of cost or fear of change, what would you tell them?
I'd say if this is the business you're wanting to go in, business is a risk. You're always going to have a risk. I had a risk starting a business out from nothing. You're going to have a risk. It's you got to spend money to make money type of thing. But if you're wanting to get into it, you take the risk. But I also tell people, don't start a business that you don't know anything about. I've been in the warehousing forever, so I started a warehouse business. I never worked in a restaurant. I would never start open up a restaurant because I don't know the first thing about it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you got to start with what you know, and
Definitely.
you stick to that, to what you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk tech under the hood. Can you walk us through what the technology backbone of CAS is, what tools or systems you use, and where do you see the room to evolve further?
Yeah, so I mean, our technical stuff is we use a lot of ShipStation and Shopify. We've had our own warehouse management system. I'm looking into a new one. I didn't like our old one, so we use the PMSs as our technology. The thing with me is that a lot of our stuff is like I said, Amazon prep and kitting, where the product comes in and goes right back out the door.
Yeah,
We do a lot of fulfillment also, but it's not near to those other two capacities where we don't put that into the WMS because you just put it in just to take it right back out in a day. It makes no sense because we're not holding that inventory here. It's coming in and going out the door. For our ones that we do fulfillment for, we generally use Shopify or ShipStation. My customers seem to like that, and a lot of them come in already with it. So we just log on to their accounts and go to town.
yeah. Well, I guess going off of that, let's talk about how you orchestrate everything beyond the standard WMS. Where do you find the biggest friction points in your daily operations? And are there any specific hands off or data entry tasks that you still require manual coordination that you wish were automated?
Well, yeah, there's not much that I can do that can be just totally automated.
Mhm.
Most
Yeah,
of mine has to be hands-on. There's accounting. I have different prices for different people, and sometimes I make side deal, not, a deal on the phone, like, okay, this is our normal price, but yeah, I'll do it for this. And I'm the only one that knows that information. And so I don't know how automated would do it for me, for that.
definitely. Yeah. Well, I guess going off of that, then what's next? How do you see CAS evolving over the next few years?
Growing. I mean, I
Yeah.
hope we're growing and growing and growing. Truthfully, I want to move out of the Amazon part of it
Yeah.
and more into the kitting and fulfillment. But Amazon is a huge part of our business, and I don't want to. If this goes out live, and I don't want to scare people to say, "Oh, don't go to him because he doesn't want to do Amazon anymore."
Yeah.
We still do, but I'm trying to gain the other parts of the business to be up and equal with Amazon. Let's call it that.
Mhm.
I would like kitting and fulfillment to be 50% and Amazon be 50%. Let's say that.
Well, where do you think smarter automation or AI could really make a difference?
I think the AI will make a difference for me in lead generations,
Yeah. Yeah.
finding in the customers. Hopefully that could do that, and I wouldn't have to get a salesperson.
Mm,
Um,
def-
that's where I see it for me and in the right now time, helping me with lead generations.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, as you scale, where do you see the biggest opportunities?
Kitting and fulfillment.
Yeah.
And Amazon because everybody's doing it. Problem with Amazon is everybody thinks they're gonna get on there and be rich, and it doesn't work out for a lot of people. So customers come and go because it doesn't work out. They can't find enough product and this and that.
Yeah. Well, hypothetically, if you had a magic wand to fix one thing in the business right now, either holding you back or slowing you down to get you there, what would that one thing be?
Somebody who could get me sales.
Yeah.
That's if I could magic wand, have the best salesperson ever in the world pop into my door, that would be
Definitely.
great. Or AI
Absolutely.
finding me the stuff. That would be the magic wand. Somebody who can bring in more business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good one to have and a realistic one as well. So let's talk about priorities and goals. As a company innovating fast, what are your top priorities?
Like I said earlier, getting the job done right, on time, customer service. Those are my number one priorities.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, Todd, before we wrap up, any final thoughts or advice you'd give to our listeners in the supply chain and logistics space? Maybe something about embracing change or sticking to fundamentals?
My advice is to just be out there hustling and finding and stuff to sell and sticking to it. Don't let it scare you. Don't let all the no's scare you. You're gonna get 100 no's before you get one yes. That
Absolutely.
one yes makes up for the 100 no's, hopefully.
Yeah,
And
it
then
really
you do
does.
another 100 and then you get another yes. And then, you got to stick to it. Don't give up
Exactly.
too quickly anyway. Sometimes you have to give up, but don't give up too quickly. My advice is stick to it, put the hours in like I did. And if you do all that, you'll get to where you want to go.
Definitely.
You'll start getting to where you want to go anyway. But you got to have the dedication. If you don't have the dedication, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that. So, for founders or product leaders listening and learning how to build AI into their business process, what advice would you give them?
I mean, find those AI tools that will really help you out for whatever you're looking for. Like for me, for lead generations. For somebody else, maybe sourcing. Having the AI find the products that they need, where to go, how to do their reports, maybe.
Yes. Yeah. So, for listeners who would like to learn more, where can they find out more about you and CAS?
Well, you can go to our website at www.kittingandassembly.com. You can email me at tpeters@kittingandassembly.com. You can call me at 303-717-0165. We're also on a bunch of preferred vendor lists, especially with Amazon. So you can find us on preferred vendor lists. And that's how you find us.
Awesome. Well, Again, thank you very much, Todd. For everyone listening, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to go follow Todd and KAS, and follow AI Chain Reaction for more conversations at the intersection of AI, logistics, and business innovation.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of AI Chain Reaction. Thank you so much for tuning in and exploring the incredible world of AI and automation with us. We hope today's discussion sparked some new ideas and gave you valuable insights into how these technologies are shaping our future. Don't let the conversation stop here. What was your biggest takeaway from this episode? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. For more resources and to learn how AI automation can transform your business, visit us at wintersAIsolutions.com. Thanks again for being part of our community. Until next time, keep innovating and stay curious.